So we will be continuing from our last discussion. Since the living entities in Krishna, the Supreme Lord, are both spirit, they are quantitatively, however, the Lord is great and the living entities are small. So qualitatively, are you understanding? Qualitatively means just like Lord Krishna is all knowledgeable, eternal, and blissful. So qualitatively, we are also same. We are also all knowledgeable, we are also eternal, and we are also blissful. That's why you will see that we always aspire for permanent bliss, isn't it? We always want to experience bliss and we never want that bliss to vanish away. We always seek for happiness and unlimited happiness because this is our constitutional state, that our quality is same as Sri Krishna. But quantitatively, if we see, then Krishna is great, he is unlimited, but we are just a fragmental part of Krishna. This fact can be accepted immediately on the basis of Vedic information. In Brahma Samhita, it is stated, Yasyaika nisvasita khalam athvalambya jivanti loma vilja jagat anand natha. I'm sorry, my pronunciation is not good. But anyways, many millions of universes come out of God's body when He exhales, and they again disappear when He inhales. Let's try to inhale, dear devotees, and now exhale. And you will see not even a petal of a flower moved from its place. But see the potency of Krishna when he exhales. Then millions and billions of universes comes out of his body. And when he inhale, then all those universes, they just destroy. They just disappear. Simply by his breathing, millions of universes are created and dissolved. This is the potency, great potency of Krishna. If this is the case, then how can the living entities claim proprietorship over anything? We we are so minute that we like if we are inhaling or exhaling, we can't even move a leaf. Then how can we claim to be a proprietor of the world? Nothing is in our control. If any person he will think about this, then he will come to know that he can't even handle, he can't even control these four things which he is always absorbed in: eating, sleeping, and etc. We can't control our sleeping. If we are feeling sleepy, then we have to sleep. We can't control. We can't control on our sleep. And same for eating. We can't control our starvation. If we feel hungry, if we starve for food, then we will need food. That is our necessity. then how can we claim that we are the controller? One's position is safe only in so far as he does not falsely declare himself to be God or proprietor. Can you really relate with this that you actually feel safe when you are in the shelter of Krishna? I mean, I can really relate with this. I often, you know, contemplate on this thing that earlier there was some fear in my heart which was really disturbing me. Which fear? I was underconfident. I was very hesitant. Any person, if he used to come in front of me, I was very hesitant to speak to him. And like, I was very underconfident. And later, like now, I can really relate with this, that now I can see that I have taken the shelter of the most potent person, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. See, we are always dependent on Supreme Personality, but it's just the matter of accepting. When we accept that, yes, there is a Supreme Controller above me who is controlling everything, and we take his shelter. Taking his shelter means we will obey his instructions, we will serve him. So you will find that there will be no scope of fearing. And this fearlessness comes when you hear. This fearlessness only comes when you hear about Lord. When you hear these scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, you come to know the greatness of Lord Krishna, that how great he is. He is the one who is controlling everything, who is maintaining everything, who is arranging everything, and everything is coming from him. Just like we discussed, that just by his breathing, millions of universes are created and dissolved. Who can be as potent as him? So when you become little conscious that you are not serving an ordinary man, an ordinary person, then there is no scope of fear. And you know what? Like sometimes when any anxiety troubles me, irritates me, then I immediately contemplate on that. That why am I stressing? Why am I being depressed? Like why? What is the reason? First of all, I just contemplate that on what am I uh, making myself depressed? And then I ask why to myself. That why am I stressing? Why am I depressing? Krishna is there to handle. And this really helps, dear devotees. This really helps. It's just the matter of becoming little conscious that you're not serving an ordinary person. Krishna, Krishna holds his devotees in his hands, just like a father holds his child in his hands, in his arms. And that child, he feels very safe in the arms of his fathers, isn't it? So it's just a matter of becoming little conscious that I'm not serving an ordinary person. I'm serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead who is maintaining everything, then there is no scope of any anxiety. Very amazing thing today Prabhuji was telling, which I want to share with all of you. He was telling about the glories of invocation, the prayers which we recite before starting our class. So why we do that? Basically, we pray from Krishna that, oh Krishna, I am completely dependent on you. My intelligence is completely relying on you. If you will allow me, then only I will be able to speak something about you to your devoid devotees. So, this way, when you leave something on Krishna, then Krishna will make sure to handle that thing nicely. To uh, yes, this is so true. And Prabhuji also quoted a story related to that, related to this, that there was a man who was basically a military man, probably, and for he went to a war for fighting, and he went there without praying to Lord Jagannath. Lord Jagannath is Lord Krishna only. So he went there and he was not able to defeat the other party. So later he again came to Lord Jagannath and he said, Jagannath, then why didn't you help me? I went for a war to fight with those people. Why didn't you help me? Then Lord Jagannath said that, did you ask for any help from me? Just amazing. So if you didn't ask anything, any help from me, then how can I help you? So what is the moral of the story? That Krishna really wants us that we plead to him. We pray from him. He is all knowing, like everything is coming from him. He's all knowledgeable. He knows everything. But then also he wants his devotees to come to him and pray from him. He wants that we ask from him that, oh Krishna, please do this for me. Please help me. I'm nothing without you. I'm completely dependent on you, my Lord. This pleases Krishna very, very much that we are showing our dependency on him. And this way we feel safe that Krishna is there to manage everything for me. So, yes, our position is safe only in this way. This is beautiful. It has become fashionable to claim to be God. Yesterday, you won't believe, yesterday there was a man. He's basically, he drinks alcohol, intoxications and all. And yesterday, like without any reason, he was walking and he said, I am the God. And when I saw him, I was feeling very bad about him. And he always say that when he drinks. So can you see the condition of fallen conditioned soul? We are so conditioned, we are so fallen, and we claim to be God. Claiming God means, see, this point is subtle, that one, if he's saying that I am God, then that is not only the way of him claiming that he is a God. If any person, if he's trying to manage or control things by his own way, like on his own hand, then that time also he's trying to become a controller. And we are not the controller. Humility is something which attracts Krishna very, very much. We really need to remember this every single time, every single moment. That we should not try to control things on our hands. We should always pray from Krishna. That, oh Krishna, there is no another shelter. Only you can help me. So yes, it has become fashionable to claim to be God and accept such claims. But from the Vedic literatures, we understand that God is not so cheap. God is God is not so cheap that he intoxicates to experience some flickering happiness. I'm sorry for my heavy words, but yes, any person who is intoxicating so that he may experience a flickering happiness, so that he may forget this world for some time, how can he be a god? As long as we are not making puffed up, ego centered claims, we are already liberated. Ego centered means that I'll try to handle things by myself. So, this is our false ego. And when we are not puffed up like this, we are already liberated. There is no need to actually seek liberation. But as long as one thinks, I am this body, he is not liberated. Liberation means knowing perfectly well that one's self is separate from the body. Therefore, Shukdev Goswami said, Praishchitam Vimarshanam. Develop your knowledge that will give you relief. Our knowledge is perfect when we come to know that we are very small particles of spiritual sparks and that God, the Supreme, the greatest spiritual identity, supplies all our necessities. Eko bahunam yo vidhati kaman. So this is the perfect knowledge. The very first knowledge is, the very first step is to understand that I am not this body. I am a spiritual spark, soul, and I am the part, we are the parts and participles of Krishna. Parts and participles of Krishna. We are basically small particles of God. And Supreme Personality is the one who is supplying all our necessities. So you can see that people are even dependent on their materialistic possessions, whatever they are possessing, on God. Just like, if any person, he says that, oh, I'm so intelligent and that's why I'm working so hard and I'm able to generate some income from that because I'm intelligent. What God is doing? I am generating income from my hard work, by my hard work. So if we ask from that person that where is that intelligence coming from, then there will be no reply. We cannot manufacture intelligence. You will see any scientist, they are so busy in so many researches and that theory, this law, that law. But where is that intelligence coming from? That intelligence is coming from Krishna. This one should understand. So, yes, greatest spiritual identity supplies all our necessities. By knowing ourselves as minute particles, part and parcel of God, we can understand that our duty is to serve God. So, are you understanding this point? Any person who will understand his relationship with God, he will understand that he is fragmental part of God. Then, what is the like how one can understand that he has really grabbed this knowledge that he's fragmental part of Krishna? He will start serving Krishna. It's just that easy. And that is his perfect knowledge. God is the center of all creation, of the whole universal body. He is the enjoyer, and we are his servitors. Servitors means servants. As this conception becomes clear, we become liberated. It's just that easy. And can you just see this? That becoming a servant is really not hard. Because this is our constitutional state. First of all, this is our constitutional state that we always want to serve. And second, if we try to become boss, then you will find, like, let's talk about this material world only because we are here. So you will always find that there will always be a person who is, who has greater qualifications than you. He's more qualified in whatever skills you have. You will always find a person who is more qualified than you. So it is very difficult to become a boss. There is like lots of competition in that. But becoming a servant is very easy. And plus, see, this is a very important point. It's not like that any person, if he is not able to do whatever good things which people assumes that that is good, that's why he chose to become the servant of God. No, people, some people might think that this person is serving God because he is so pessimistic about life, and he's not able to, he has no qualities or skills so that he may progress in his material life. That's why he's serving God. But it's not like that. Our constitutional state is that we are servants of God, and this is perfect knowledge. Yesterday only, one person, he was talking with another person on a mobile phone, and he was actually talking it beside me, and he was showing he was singing his grief. What he was saying, that, oh, I went to, I mean, I don't know what is his profession, but he visits to people's house for some, I don't know, something for some work in people's house, maybe for electric connection or something. So he was speaking to his friend that, oh, I see many beautiful houses. They are so brilliantly constructed. Lift is there and so much luxurious ambience, this, that. And my house is nothing. I found, I find my house is nothing in comparison to their houses. He was kind of singing his grief like that. So are you catching this point that people, they are thinking that if we will progress in our material life, if we will have big houses, luxurious houses, if we will live luxurious life, then that is only the perfection of this human form of life. But this is actually illusion of people. Can you see this, that they are not able to understand this thing, that whatever materialistic we are possessing, it will snatched from us, that will snatched from us at particular time. Whatever hard work any person did throughout his life for gaining material possessions, all those possessions will be snatched away from him at particular time. So how can it be progress? But people cannot understand this until they hear shastras, until they hear scriptures. So it's not that we are becoming servants because we are pessimistic towards our materialistic life. No, it's not like that. Our constitutional state is we are eternal servants of God, and only that way we, not only we will be happy, we will feel satisfaction, but only that way we will be actually progressing in our life. That is the actual perfection of this human form of life. And any person who will understand this thing, he will not put much efforts for his material life. So anything we are doing for our material life, it is actually waste of time. There is no another word. It's complete waste of time. Because nothing material can satisfy us. Because we are not this material body or material car, material laptop, or whatever things we see around us. Then why to put lots of efforts for these things? I mean, I'm not saying to not do anything. One can do something for his survival, but one should not be, absorbed in these things. And most importantly, compromise his spiritual life for those material possessions. And as this conception becomes clear, we become liberated because we will not be depressing on these nonsensical topics. Srila Prabhupada uses this word, these nonsensical subjects of possessing more and more material things. Liberation entails freedom from all false conceptions. So are you understanding what does liberation mean? What does liberation really mean? Liberation from all the false conceptions that I will become happy if I will possess material things, material possessions. I will become happy if I will gain fame in this material world or gain lots of property, lots of money. You won't believe this. I met one person few days ago. He came at home and he was completely convinced that any person, he will only be happy if he has lots of money. He was completely convinced. And I even didn't try to make him, understand these points, because I was getting that he will not be understanding those points and he will just waste my time. It's not like I didn't try to make him understand. I was trying to, I gave him the example that you will see many rich men, they are so wealthy, but then why they commit suicide? If they were happy with all the money and whatever things they had, then why they commit suicide? So he said, because they are crazy. They don't know how to enjoy life. So I was like, okay, okay, bye. I have to go for my class. But I gave him one book of Srila Prabhupada. He said, I will read it. So can you see how people are convinced? And every time when I see such examples, like people who personify themselves in that way, that, yeah, we are happy in materialistic things. I just thank Krishna. That thank you, Krishna, for saving me. I mean, every devotee should have this gratitude in their hearts that Krishna has really saved us. Krishna's devotees has really saved us. Otherwise, we have also been hankering for such material possessions. And it really burns one's heart. This heat is so, I mean, irritating. It's intolerable that if you are hankering for getting something material, and if you are not getting it, or even if you are getting it, but then also this heat, it basically intensifies in your heart, which is a misery. And any person who understand this thing, I mean, who becomes liberated from such conceptions, he is actually a liberated soul. Even though he is living in this material world, but because he is understanding this, that material possessions cannot make me happy, then he is already liberated. Can you catch this? Can you relate with this? That it is really a big liberation already if we are not hankering to gain something material, if we are not hankering to compete with people, if we are not hankering uh, to have envy in our hearts for other people, if we are getting free from such feelings or conceptions, then we are actually getting liberated. It is not that upon liberation one acquires 10 hands. This is quite funny. So that doesn't mean liberation. What liberation is. In Srimad Bhagavatam, liberation is defined as muktir hitvanyatha rupam. Mukti means to give up. Give up what? Give up false ego, false conception. And anyatha rupam denotes a false conception of life. This is to say that when one is situated in his original constitutional position, having given up all false notions, he is liberated. It is also said in Srimad Bhagavatam that by the acquisition of knowledge, one becomes liberated immediately. Now, this is very interesting point. That how any person, if he is acquiring knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam, he becomes liberated immediately. So let's understand. Any person who even desires in his heart, he's just thinking that, oh, I will read Srimad Bhagavatam. Then immediately Krishna enters in his heart. To see how great Srimad Bhagavatam is. And same for Bhagavad Gita. Same for these books because these are non-different from Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. See, we are discussing one of the verses, not verses, but the one of the lines of the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. Muktir hitvanyatha rupam. So these are non-different from Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So any person who is just desiring in his heart that, oh, I will read Srimad Bhagavatam or I will hear Srimad Bhagavatam, that Krishna immediately enters in his heart. Why? Because this desire of reading Srimad Bhagavatam is not ordinary. And if you doubt, then I challenge you. Yes, I challenge you. You just go and you roam here and there. I mean, you just search for people, maybe in your neighborhood or anywhere, your tenants or whatever, and you just ask, are you interested to read Srimad Bhagavatam with me? Srimad Bhagavatam? What is that? I haven't heard anything like this. What is this? And you will find that they will not show any interest in hearing or reading Srimad Bhagavatam with you. So, if we are getting association of such devotees who are eager to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, this is our greatest fortune. Because such souls are extremely rare. You will not find such people around you. And if you really doubt, then you can just go and try. They will they will immediately show their disinclination. They will just start making excuses. Oh, I have my office work. Oh, I have to take care of my child. Oh, I have to make some tea for my husband or whatever. So the very first thing is this. Second, how immediately liberated? So, any person who desires to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, so right now, uh, he has started reading or hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, and gradually by time, he will understand his relationship with Krishna and all the things which is required for his self realization, and he will be liberated. So immediately means, let's understand the meaning of immediate, word immediate. His Holiness Vrindavan Chandra Maharaj explained this very nicely. Just like if you are asked to make some nice chapatis. Uh, I mean, yes, Sumit Prabhuji, I know you know how to cook. So if you are asked to make some good food, nice food, and suppose you are a chef, just assume yourself as a chef or a nice cook, then you will say, oh yes, I can cook food and I will make chapatis in just 2 minutes. I will come back in 2 minutes. So can you really make chapatis in 2 minutes? No, right? But 2 minutes means you will be making it earlier. I mean, you will make it quickly. Yes, another example which Maharaj gave is of Ajamin. Just like we all know the story of Ajamil. So it is mentioned in scriptures that just he said, he chanted Narayan. So he immediately got liberated and he went to the abode, Krishna's abode. But we come to know that he was allowed to serve Krishna, basically to practice his devotional services for more 20 years. And after that, he went to Krishna's abode. So there immediately means 20 years. But in context to, like in comparison to the eternal time, 20 years is really very short period. And it is actually immediate only. It is immediate period. So are you getting the meaning of word immediate here? Getting liberated immediately means liberated immediately means that right now, as he has started hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, so gradually by time, when he will understand his relationship with God and everything, which is which is required for self-realization, he will be liberated. Liberated from the false conception that the purpose of my life is not sense gratification, but to gratify Krishna's senses. So that knowledge can be very easily acquired, for it is simple. God is great, I am very small. He is the supreme proprietor supplying all necessities, and I am his servant. So it's just that easy. So let's just read this one more paragraph. And I am his servant. Who can challenge this? It is a fact. We are simply under the false impression that we are this or that. And this leads us to the ultimate false impression that we are God. Yet we do not consider what manner of God we are. A small bodily disorder will send us to the physician. One who claims to be the supreme, therefore, should be understood to have fallen to the last snare of Maya. One who is thus fallen cannot even be liberated, for he is bound by false impressions. So, are you getting this point? We discussed one point of sacrifice. Yes, we discussed this sloka 3.9 Bhagavad Gita that sacrifice, one should perform sacrifice for Lord Krishna. Otherwise, any other work binds one to this material world. So binding in material world means binding from these false conceptions that I am God. I can control things by myself. So any person who is working, anything he is doing independently from Krishna, then he is more and more binding himself in these false conceptions, false impressions. So these things are really very dangerous. Only when one has attained proper knowledge can he actually be liberated. Otherwise, it is not possible. If any person he will not hear scriptures, he will not take knowledge in association with devotees, he can never understand. Now, the next shloka of Brahma stage we will be discussing in our next session if Krishna is willing. We will stop here our discussion. Thank you so much for joining. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.